What's up, everybody? So today we are going to be making a taser out of a disposable camera. It's a very simple project, doesn't cost much. So here's the finished product. This is a disposable camera, and as you can see, it's got the two screws coming out the side. And all you got to do, you press the flash button, you let it charge up for a second, and then it releases a nice little charge into whatever you touch it to. So I'm just using a piece of metal because obviously I don't want to be shocked. But that's just to demonstrate that it actually does work. So all you're going to need for this project is a disposable camera. You're going to need a screwdriver, a pair of wire cutters, a pair of needle nose pliers, some real small electrical wire. You don't want like extension cord wire, you want some pretty small stuff. And then just a couple of screws that you're going to use as the pulls on your camera. All right, let's get started. All right, so your cameras are going to come in a box like this. You're going to open it up, and it comes in this weird little aluminum foil, just like a candy package. Unzip that, and boom, you got your disposable camera. So this is what it's going to look like if it's like almost every other disposable camera on the planet. So first what you're going to do is you're going to pull the cardboard or wrapper off. Okay, so here's the camera with the wrapper off. Now, all these cameras pretty much split right down the center. So you're going to want to find the area where it kind of comes apart. You'll usually see a little line, and they're usually attached with little, just with these little like clasps here. So you can really use anything to punch those clasps open. So I'm just going to use a little flathead screwdriver here. Kind of pry them up like that so they come loose. Just got to do that to each one. Alright, so it's going to pop apart like that. Try not to lose any parts, so I'm just going to grab these, figure out where the heck they popped out of, because it's probably that's going to be important later on. So this one is your flash button. Some of them have buttons, some of this one has a weird sliding mechanism. So it'll be different with different cameras. So you just make sure you remember where those go, because we're going to put the camera back together afterwards. Okay, so here you've got the camera apart. This is what it looks like, and the important part is this unit right here, the little motherboard unit. So I'm going to pull this whole unit out. Again, just like the casing, it's kind of clasped. It's kind of hooked in there with a few little clasps. Okay, so it usually just kind of pops right out. So this, right here, this is the important part. This is what you want to work with. So if you turn this over, you'll see this diode right here, this fairly large diode right behind the flash. This is what's going to power your taser. So the first thing you need to do is take your screwdriver and release any energy that's in this, because these two wires right here are going to be energized. Now, we're going to take and cut two pieces of our electrical wire, roughly like 6 to 8 inches long. This doesn't have to be exact. So we're going to cut that. Now, what you're going to need to do is strip these electrical wire. Now, theoretically, you can do it with wire cutters, but it's a lot easier with a razor blade or a knife. So that's what I'm going to use here. So we're just going to strip this, and being careful not to cut the copper wires inside the plastic. Okay, so once you have the copper showing from all 4 sides, you're going to take your little motherboard here, and you're going to twist one of the ends around one of the poles from this diode. They don't cross so that they don't touch in any way. Once you've got them nice and attached, you're going to put the motherboard back in the camera housing, still making sure that the wires don't cross each other. So see, I've got these crossed, uncross them, set that in there until it's seated how it was in the original camera. You're going to want to put the battery back in your housing if it's not already in there. So get that back in, good to go. Okay. So now you're going to take the wires and you're going to attach them to the 2 screws that you will have screwed in on the side of your camera. Now, you can put these screws anywhere in the housing of the camera. The only things you have to make sure is that the screws don't stop you from putting the faceplate back on the camera, and that the screws don't go into the motherboard. So once you have these screws put in, so then you're going to twist the wire around the screws. Just loop it around a couple times so it's on there. Doesn't have to be like anything amazing, just so it's attached. Same thing on this side. Loop it on there, okay? So now you're going to just kind of set these wires back in the housing of the camera. Now that you've got the wires put in and you got everything attached, now is when you put the faceplate back on the camera. So make sure that your flash button is back in there like it was on the original camera, because that's what's going to charge up your Taser. So once you got the flash button back in and everything's good to go, you're going to just set this back on and it should just snap back into place. Okay, so now I've got the camera back together. Flash button's in place, the screws are in place, and it's really good to go. As you can see, it basically looks exactly like it did before. The only difference is it's got two little screws coming out the end. And to release the Taser, you simply touch it to a person or to whatever. So I'm just going to use metal. So you can see it actually packs quite a bit of a punch. So there you go, guys. That is how you make a Taser out of a disposable camera. Pretty simple project, didn't cost much money. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.